Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff goes full cowgirl in a brown leather romper for Beyoncé's Atlanta show. Coco Gauff has gone from the Wimbledon courts to the Beyoncé rodeo. After a short run at Wimbledon this year, the two-time Grand Slam tennis champion isn't sweating her round one loss, but is instead moving on with the help of Beyoncé. Earlier this week, Gauff embraced her inner cowgirl for the singer's Cowboy Carter tour stop in Atlanta, Georgia. For the concert, the tennis star wore a sleeveless, brown leather romper that nodded to Western style. But it was her brown and silver embellished accessories that took her look to the next level. Gauff paired her leather look with tall brown cowboy boots, a matching studded belt, and a brown suede cowboy hat adorned with crystal stars. At one point, the tennis champion even whipped out a matching brown fan, a final touch to bring the whole look together. On Tuesday, the athlete shared a series of highlights from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium show on Instagram. In her carousel post, Gauff can be seen posing in her leather look in front of the lit-up American flag backdrop of the stadium, as well as in the city streets. She also shared various clips of Beyoncé's stellar performance and one iconic photo of herself with the singer's mother, Tina Knowles. A day after the show, Gauff reminisced about meeting the Queen, aka the Grammy winner's mother, and wrote on X, "Beyoncé waved at me during her show last night, and I met the Queen, Miss Tina Knowles. I cannot believe my life. I am so grateful for it. Thank you to the both of them for a moment I will never forget." Coco Gauff goes full cowgirl in a brown leather romper for Beyoncé's Atlanta show. Coco Gauff, the 20-year-old tennis sensation with a Grand Slam title already under her belt, traded in her usual tennis whites for something far more unexpected and fabulous. On a balmy summer night in Atlanta, where the Mercedes-Benz Stadium was pulsing with anticipation for Beyoncé's Renaissance World Tour stop, Coco showed up not just as a fan, but as a moment. Gone were the sneakers. Gone was the sporty ponytail. In their place, a sleek, brown leather romper that hugged her athletic frame like it was designed specifically for her. With cinched detailing at the waist, silver snap buttons, and just the right touch of fringe fluttering from her sleeves, Coco Gauff looked every bit the Southern cowgirl, modern, bold, and breathtaking. Topping it off was a beige wide-brimmed hat with a rhinestone band, a nod to Beyoncé's own glam cowgirl aesthetic this tour. And Atlanta noticed. The moment Coco stepped onto the VIP entrance carpet, cameras clicked and heads turned. Social media erupted within minutes. "Coco Gauff ate and left no crumbs," tweeted one fan. "She's in her cowgirl era, and I'm here for it," another chimed in. Even Beyoncé's own fan base, the famously fashion-forward BEYONCÉ, had to give her props. Not Coco giving Renaissance energy like she's the one opening for Bey. It wasn't just the outfit, it was the confidence. Gauff strutted into the venue like she owned it, all while clearly basking in the pre-show electricity. Her smile was wide. Her eyes gleamed under the venue lights, and she posed effortlessly beside her boyfriend Jalen Sarah, who complimented her look in a denim-on-denim combo with matching boots. The couple's style chemistry was off the charts, drawing comparisons to Beyoncé and Jay-Z themselves. Coco's mom, Candy Gauff, who has long been her daughter's biggest cheerleader, was also spotted nearby, looking proud and radiant in an elegant sequin blazer and heels. Coco always knew how to make a statement, but she's finding her voice more and more off the court, Candy told a local reporter who caught her before the show. This is a new side of her, playful, expressive, and totally unapologetic. Indeed, this wasn't just a fashion choice. It was a declaration. For Coco, who's had a whirlwind year, rebounding after Wimbledon, training for the hard-court season, and balancing fame with personal growth, this Beyoncé concert was a break from the pressure, a chance to breathe and live. But her look said more than night off. It said, "I'm here. I'm grown. And I know exactly who I am." Behind the scenes, fashion insiders revealed that her brown leather romper was a custom creation by a Black-owned Atlanta-based designer. She reached out with a very clear vision. The designer, who goes by Ava Lang, shared on Instagram. She said, "I want to look like I belong in a Western Beyoncé video, but make it me." We made magic from there. And make magic they did. Inside the stadium, Coco danced freely to hits like Cuff It, Break My Soul, and Texas Hold'em, even joining a group of fans in a spontaneous line dance in one of the club suites. Beyoncé herself may not have called her out by name during the concert, but you could feel the mutual admiration in the air. After all, Coco has credited Beyoncé more than once for inspiring her belief in herself. She's one of the reasons I know I can walk in any room and own it. Coco once said during an interview, "Beyoncé doesn't shrink for anyone, and neither should I." Her Atlanta appearance proved she's putting that philosophy into action. By the time the final notes of Summer Renaissance echoed through the stadium and the crowd spilled out into the Georgia night, Coco Gauff had already become a viral sensation. Fashion blogs labeled her best dressed of the night, and entertainment news outlets ran headlines like "Coco Gauff serves a Western ace at Beyoncé's show." But the best moment might have come afterward. Backstage, a video surfaced of Coco meeting up with fellow tennis star Naomi Osaka and actress Storm Reid, who were also in attendance. The three hugged, shared laughs, and posed together, each one representing different corners of Black excellence, each one glowing under the lights of the Queen herself. As they left the venue together, Coco gave one final wave to fans, her leather fringe swinging, her boots clicking against the concrete, and her confidence radiating like stage lights. The girl who once burst onto the tennis scene as a 15-year-old prodigy was now fully a woman. And that woman, she's not just a champion on court, she's a style icon, a cultural voice, and a beacon of young, Black brilliance. When Coco Gauff walked into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta that night, the crowd inside wasn't just buzzing for Beyoncé. They were stunned by another queen, this one hailing from the tennis courts rather than the stage. Draped in a custom-fit brown leather romper that hugged her athletic frame, like it was stitched by destiny itself, Coco Gauff didn't just attend Beyoncé's Renaissance tour stop in Atlanta. She owned it. From center court to center stage. It had only been 2 weeks since Coco's dramatic exit from Wimbledon, a bittersweet third-round defeat that had left her soul-searching in the English rain. But the Georgia heat? That was something else. Something freeing. Something fierce. And Coco needed that. She'd been chasing forehands and headlines all year. The pressures of being America's next big tennis hope, of carrying Serena's torch, had started to feel like more than just a racket's weight. But for one night, the stadium lights weren't fluorescent overheads at Arthur Ashe. They were multicolored beams from Beyoncé's celestial production. And Coco was there to shine. Her outfit? Pure cowgirl glam. High-gloss brown leather cut perfectly at the waist, cinched with a chunky brass belt. Fringe details danced along the sleeves, catching light with every move she made. Her boots, a matching caramel shade with silver embroidery, thudded like thunder across the stadium floor. The hat, yes, the hat, was a wide-brimmed homage to the South. Beyoncé may have been the headliner, but Coco was the revelation. Yeehaw energy meets Gen Z cool. The photos quickly went viral. Coco Gauff turns Atlanta into a runway. One fan tweeted, attaching a video of her strutting into the VIP section like she was walking into a Western film reboot. Another post read, "When your game is fire, and so is your fashion." Coco Gauff understood the cowboy renaissance assignment. What made the moment magnetic wasn't just the outfit, it was the energy. Coco wasn't playing dress-up. This wasn't a half-hearted nod to the Beyoncé theme. This was full commitment, full expression, full swagger. And it was personal. A night off. But not really. Despite the glitz, Coco didn't post a single story or selfie for the first hour. She didn't need to. Fans, influencers, and even celebrities couldn't stop snapping candid shots of her dancing, laughing, and belting lyrics like she'd rehearsed them backstage. Behind her, her boyfriend Jalen Sarah rocked a denim jacket, with rhinestone flames licking up the sleeves. Next to him, Coco's mom Candy, ever the pillar of cool elegance, beamed with pride in a bedazzled white cowgirl hat that sparkled under the lights. It was a family affair, but make it fashionable. This wasn't just a concert. It was a celebration of identity, culture, and freedom, of Black Southern pride, of femininity redefined, of how an athlete could take a break and still compete in a completely different arena, fashion. And Coco, she was winning. Conversations in the crowd. Backstage, There were murmurs. Is that Coco Gauff? Stylists whispered, recognizing the tennis star only because of her signature braids and undeniable confidence. A few rising pop stars at the VIP bar were overheard saying, she could totally model if she wanted. At one point during Texas Hold'em, Beyoncé gave a slight nod in Coco's direction, whether intentional or not. Fans nearby swore Queen Bey locked eyes with her and tipped her hat in respect. Coco laughed, then danced even harder, twirling her fringe sleeves like lassos in the wind. Later, reporters caught up with her near the exit, asking about the look. Coco, smiling and breathless from dancing, replied, I mean, when Beyoncé says cowgirl, you go full cowgirl. No questions asked. The outfit's origin. What most didn't know was that the romper was designed just days before by Atlanta-based stylist Drea Monet, known for blending sportswear with southern elegance. Drea had followed Coco's career since her Wimbledon breakthrough at age 15, when she called and said, I want to serve Beyoncé cowgirl realness. I already had the sketch in my head. Drea later shared on Instagram. This wasn't just about fashion. It was about giving Coco a stage outside the court. The brown leather, ethically sourced and tailored from an Alabama tannery known for its resilience and luster. The brass belt buckle, engraved with the initial CG, and a tiny tennis racket at the side, a subtle nod to her roots. The message was clear. Even when stepping out of her sport, Coco never leaves it behind. A symbol beyond style. Fashion pundits labeled it the tennis cowgirl crossover we didn't know we needed. But for fans, it was deeper. Young girls across the country posted side-by-sides of Coco's Wimbledon whites and her Atlanta brown leather. One TikTok creator narrated a mini-documentary titled, How Coco Gauff Went from Wimbledon Warrior to Renaissance Rodeo Queen. And in the heart of Atlanta, in a stadium packed with over 70,000 fans, Coco Gauff reminded everyone that athletes, especially women of color, can hold multiple identities, that you can sweat on the court and slay on the dance floor, that you can win titles and steal fashion weeks, and most importantly, that sometimes the best way to heal from a tough loss is to throw on your boots, tip your hat, and dance like nobody's keeping score. Post-show glow. The next morning, Coco posted a single photo on Instagram. It was golden hour. She stood on a downtown Atlanta rooftop, still wearing the brown romper, her cowgirl hat tilted just enough to cast a shadow over her eyes. The caption read, Not a tennis match, but I still serve cowboy hat face woman dancing medium dark skin tone. #Renaissance Tour, #Cowgirl Energy. The comments exploded. Venus Williams wrote, Fire, 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 queen. Zendaya dropped a Yeehaw woman's boot red heart. And Beyoncé's official account simply commented with a silver cowboy hat emoji and a star. More than a moment. For Coco, the night wasn't just about clothes or clout. It was about reclaiming joy, reclaiming space, and showing the world, especially young black girls watching, that authenticity doesn't need permission, that you can be an athlete and an icon, a champion and a cowgirl, a fierce competitor who also sings every word of Break My Soul like it's a victory chant. So next time Coco Gauff steps onto the court, whether it's in New York or Paris or Melbourne, know this. There's a little cowgirl in those sneakers now. And she's not just playing to win. She's playing to own the moment.